Deps comes out with their Evoke Zero, which has been highly anticipated. Daiwa comes out with a new Steez A in an HLC format. And the biggest restock of OSP Beavers we've had in quite some time. This is what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle.
You got this, Geoff.
That was awful.
Welcome to the Hookup Tackle. The Hookup Tackle is the world's largest showcase of Megabass products, featuring baits and colors not found at any other dealer. The Hookup also offers a wide display of OSP, Evergreen, Deps, Lucky Craft, Jackal, and many more. The Hookup Tackle is owned and operated by family, is staffed by guides and verified tackle nerds who love helping anglers elevate their craft. If you're in the Phoenix area, we'd love to have you stop by our showroom and check out the wonderful world of Megabass and the Hookup for yourself. If you shop online, there are almost 10,000 SKUs of Megabass products alone, with hundreds of other companies and new products being added daily. So next time you're looking for that hard to find bait, that color your fish have never seen before, or maybe you just want to elevate your game, look at thehookuptackle.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another exciting episode of What's New This Week at the Hookup Tackle. Today, I will be presenting it for you because Ben is somewhere out there in the world drinking an Orion on a beach with two bikini babes on either side of him, living the dream. But some of us have to be here to actually work and not get the luxuries of such things. So it's gonna be me today. But we have some pretty exciting new items that have come into the shop this past week, as well as some new hype items that a lot of you guys have been wondering about as well. So we're gonna start with Deps, with the new Deps Evoke 120. Now they make two different sizes in it. They make a 150 and a 120. Currently right now we just have the 120 Evoke Zeros. And basically what the Evoke Zero is a topwater lure that is very similar to a Whopper Plopper, but it has the body of, well, an Evoke Zero by Deps. It's their crankbait. So there's quite a few different features that come on this bait. This bait is designed by one of our good buddies, Kenta Kimura, who was in here probably about, I think, just under a year ago or around a year ago, and he kind of talked about the Evoke Zero just a hair bit because he couldn't really say a whole lot, but now we have them in production now, and this is basically the lure here. Now, a couple of the key features that come with this lure is the line tie. The line tie up here comes with a swivel and the head with a split ring, so you can twist this thing as much as you'd want. If you hook a fish, the bait can pretty much twist as much as it wants in that fish's mouth, so you're gonna lose a lot less fish with this bait. As well as something like that, they come stock with the new Ryugi Quattro hooks, and the hooks actually have a swivel attached to them. So you can twist this hook as much as you possibly want, and it'll never ever clip and kind of like give the fish leverage. So it comes stock with that hook, high quality hook. I've been using them on some of my glide baits as well. Super solid hook for me. And then obviously the thing that actually makes it be what it is, and that's this blade back here. And it's basically a plopper sound, but you can do a lot of different things with this bait. You can pop it, you can burn it, you can rip it. There's a lot of different things that you can do with this bait. Very versatile. And of course you have the treble hook back here in the back, so if you just get a fish to swipe, you're gonna hook them there too. Overall, it's a super dope bait. Let me spec it out for you guys. It is 120 millimeters, 29.5 grams, so just over an ounce, and around 4.5 inches, just under 5 inches. So it's a dope little bait. We didn't get a lot of these in, unfortunately, so I don't know if by the time we even post this video that they'll be sold out. But if you're able to snag one of these, let us know how they do, how they catch fish. I know the guys here at the shop got a couple of them, like Griff. Griff will probably be out this week catching some really big bass on it like he normally does with new baits. But that is the brand new Deps Evoke 120. Back in stock from Deps, we see a restock of some of our favorite colors in the Slide Swimmer 175. We have the Butch Brown Bluegill, and we have the Butch Brown American Shad. This is going to be a great time of the year to be picking up the Slide Swimmers, especially this size. This size can be fished pretty much anywhere in the country because it is 7 inches, 2.5 ounces, so it's pretty easy to fish on, you know, a wide variety of different rods and setups. And these just downright get bit. These are like the newer versions where they have the stability fins on the bottom now, so they're going to swim more true to like a Deps 250, so the swim is even better on these new Slide Swimmer 175s. It's a great time of year to try and fish some of those bigger glide baits. The fish are feeding up, it's fall, and they're looking for a bigger meal, so picking up one of those Slide Swimmers will probably get you some really big bites this time of the year. Staying with the Slide Swimmers but going down in size, we also see a restock in the Slide Swimmer 115s and a few of our favorite colors like Wakasagi, Butch Brown, American Shad. And I fished these little 115s. They actually swim a lot better than you would think. They swim more true to like how the older 175s are. You do need to fish them on pretty light line. I would fish anywhere from 10 to 12 pound fluorocarbon at max if you want to get the best swim out of those little 115s, but they're killer little baits. If you guys are just looking into getting into fishing some of the swim baits without having to get a brand new rod or a new setup, you can pretty much fish this little bait on like a jig rod or a rod that's made to just handle up to about 2 ounces or so. This bait will work perfectly on it as well. So that is the Slide Swimmer 115s back in stock from Deps. Okay, let's just jump over to Megabass now. We have a restock in some of our favorite colors in the Vision 110. This is getting to be about that time to start picking up the jerkbait again. The fish are, depending on where you live, they are looking to pick off dying shad from the cold. The jerkbait imitates that perfectly well. We have a lot of different colors come back in. I know Ben always loves to talk about this color. It's like his favorite color that I've never seen him fish ever, but he loves talking about it like he loves talking about Orion. But this is that SB Shad. It's where it's that translucent half bottom, but it's got like this greenish pearl-ish-esque top, and then you got a black top, but on the bottom it's got like this red orangish underhit right underneath, so you get this weird kind of flashing motion where it flashes just a little bit of that red when you're jerking the jerk bait. It's a very unique color that I hope to see comes out in, you know, quite a few different other baits. And honestly, I don't know if it does elicit more strikes, but it is just that one extra thing that can. And as a fisherman, we're always looking for that little bit of an advantage to get some of those finicker fish to bite. So that is SB Shad. This was Wagin Hasu, but we also have quite a few different other colors in the restock of the Vision 110s. We also see the same color in the silent version, so if your fish are a little bit more finicky around, you know, the louder jerk baits, the silent version can be an absolute killer. We've actually just were talking about this the other day on silent versus louder, rattly kind of baits, and it does seem like the rattle versions definitely sell a lot more than the silent versions. And obviously there's times and places, but what we've noticed is when the fishing picks up and a lot more guys are fishing certain baits, it does seem like the fish, after a while of getting caught and pressured, it does seem like they stop eating baits that have rattles or unnatural sounds to it. So that's when you would switch to a silent version jerkbait like this, or really anything that's silent like a topwater or a crankbait, and you're gonna get a lot of those bites that those guys are missing because they're fishing baits that still have the rattles in them. After so long, the fish will adapt and the cycle kind of starts again, because after a while of when that pressure dies off and it kind of comes back, like, you know, from fall to winter to spring. In spring, a lot of guys like fishing the rattles because all winter long they weren't really hearing rattles. Around winter, everybody's throwing kind of a more natural style presentation, so in springtime, that's when you throw like a rattle. But after, you know, that first spring crowd comes and they're throwing a bunch of loud stuff, going silent can also be super, super deadly. So we see a bunch of different colors as well in the silent version of the 110. Okay, staying in Megabass jerkbaits, we also see a big restock in the Megabass Vision 110 Plus 1 Juniors and a lot of the key colors. So we have Northern Secret as well as Clear Laker come back in stock. We have Stain Reaction OB as well as Spawn Cherry come back in. Super key colors that a lot of you guys kill fish on. They're fantastic colors. They have a wide variety of different ranges. But we also have the other colors as well if you're not really into these super sexy colors. Okay, going into more of my style of baits, we're going to be looking at some Megabass swim baits, and we're going to start with the Megabass Magdraft. We got a restock of the 6-inch version of the Magdrafts and all the key colors as well, like white back, and you have albino pearl and quite a few different other colors. The 6-inch Magdraft, they come in actually 2 different styles. You have obviously the newer Magdraft Freestyle, where it's the weedless version of the Magdraft 6-inch, but there's every times where you'd rather have the normal Magdraft than the actual Freestyle. And where I'd fish the normal Magdraft is like around docks or around trees, where you're going to be getting some pretty aggressive strikes that they'll come full speed out. And sometimes when you're fishing a beast hook style swim bait, they don't just eat it right when you're fishing it higher up in the water column. I do notice that when you are fishing more towards the bottom, those fish are more key to just suck it in, while sometimes with the higher water column, when you're fishing up like around docks or treetops or anything like that, they come out, they hit it pretty hard, pretty fast, and they kind of just sink down if they miss it or they kind of give up on it. So going to just the normal Magdraft 6-inch is going to be killer if you're going to be fishing around those kind of areas. We also see a restock and the I-Slide 185s. We have Oikawa as well as Hasu, and we got a few other colors that come in. Honestly, I think this is my favorite color out of the 185s, the Oikawa. I know we have nothing here in the States that looks like this, but I just think it's a killer pattern. It looks great, and I still think that the fish will just crush it. I don't think color matters that much, but that is a sexy color. So 185s back in stock from Megabass. We also see back in stock the smaller version, the 135 size, and the slow sinking version. We see it in GG Smallmouth as well as GLX Sunshine Gale. These are a great addition coming up here. They're feeding currently right now down here in the south on smaller bluegill. So this profile and size and a glide bait is absolutely killer right now this time of the year when your fish are feeding on bluegill. When they're not eating, you know, big full-size crappie or bluegill or panfish, and they're eating that smaller bluegill anywhere from like that 2 to 4 inches, this is going to be a great size to fish for those fish, and you're going to get some really big bites on the I-Slide 135. We see all the key sizes back in the Uoze swimmer from Megabass. We have the smaller size, which is the 3/16 ounce, 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce, and up to a 1/2 ounce, and the Uoze swimmer. This is one of Ben's favorite underspin style jig head slash swim jigs, and you can do quite a few different things with it. I know Ben will pair up some of the bigger sizes with like a sparker, like a spark shad, like a 5-inch, or even go to like a Dolive Shad. The smaller size you can put like a K-Tech on, or a smaller spark shad as well. They're just great baits. They have a great hook to them. They have a perfect head to going through rocks, trees, and grass. So if you guys have been waiting for Uoze swimmers to come back in, we got a good restock of them now. And we also see a restock in the Okashira Screwhead. We see it in the 1/8 size and all the different key colors like the Melon Ayu, the Real Minnow, as well as the Spawn Kill. So if you guys are not familiar with the Screwhead, I don't know why you've been living under a rock, but this paired up with, as well as we have in restock, the 3-inch Spark Shad is just absolutely killer for smallmouth, for largemouth as well. But I've seen this combination of 3-inch Spark Shad and Okashira Screwhead probably catch more smallmouth than I've ever seen any other bait catch smallmouth. If you guys are looking to pick these back up, we got a good restock in both the Spark Shads as well as the Okashira Screwheads. Okay, and a quick word from our sponsors over at Orion, the finest beer of Okinawa. So I'm obviously not gonna drink this because I don't really drink that stuff, but Orion has helped us a lot go through these hard times for the past year. As you guys know, Ben is pretty much addicted to this stuff now. So it would help if you guys went over to Orion and just told them that, like, hey, the Hookup Tackle is just looking for a little sponsorship, maybe like a $500,000 a year for, you know, all the promotion we've done for Orion. So, you know, just a little thing. But Orion, thank you for not sponsoring this segment. Thank you. Okay, back to serious business. We see a restock and 3 new colors in the Evergreen CR16 deep diving crankbaits. And here we have Hologram Wakasagi, Pumpkin Seed, and Cold Shad. The Evergreen CR16, a lot of the guys here at the shop fish it, especially Julius likes to fish this bait. It is a 3-inch bait, just under a full ounce, and it dives anywhere from 14 to 16 feet, probably on that 14 to 16 pound fluorocarbons. They are pretty loud. So they got like that one knocker in there. So overall, super dope bait. And we've got those 3 colors in here. This is my personal favorite of the bunch here. This is Cold Shad. We also see a new color in the CR13. This is pre-spawn daytime. It's kind of like a crawfish style color. This is just the smaller brother of the CR16. This one is about 2 3/4 inches. It weighs 3/4 of an ounce, and it gets down to that 10 to 13 foot range, again, on that 14 to 16 pound. And such a cool looking color, especially if your fish are feeding on craws. So this could be an absolute springtime killer. Okay, back in stock from Ryugi Japan, we see their Deep Tracer. Now, I've actually used the Deep Tracer in the past before. It's a pretty cool concept overall, and especially if you get kind of the right lure with the right buoyancy and float to it, this can be actually a great way to get some baits down that the fish haven't seen before. And they come in quite a few different sizes, and you kind of just have to play around with different sizes for different baits. I fished mine like with the Tiny Clash. The Tiny Clash doesn't need a whole lot of weight to get down there, so I've been using like the 3/4 ounce. If you wanted to get down, let's say like a Deps Silent Killer 250, you would fish something like a little bit heavier. So the Deep Tracer, what it's made for is for a lure that normally floats, and it's kind of like a 2-way swivel. One of the wires comes down here to the weight down here at the bottom. The other one is connected to another wire that has a split ring where you attach the lure at. And basically, like it says on the back, what it does is, depending on the lure, like if you fish a Tiny Clash and you pick the right size, it'll actually swim on the way down, and you can fish it like on the bottom, and the bait will stay higher. So it's basically like a drop shot for a floating worm, essentially, to where it's gonna sit right up off the bottom. And surprisingly, this comes through trees actually extremely well. Rocks, on the other hand, depending on the size of the rocks, it gets stuck fairly often in the rocks, but around trees, I was actually very surprised how the bait actually comes through the cover pretty well. If you guys want to see a more in-depth video of it, I'll leave a link to a video that I've watched countless times of one of the Japanese pro guys with Ryugi fishing Deep Tracers on a wide variety of different baits and catching some pretty big bass on it. But the video breaks down, even in Japanese, you can kind of just get a better look and sense of the Deep Tracer. But I think this is one of the things from Japan that a lot of guys over here aren't utilizing, and I think that it can become a very effective way to get some baits that the fish haven't seen before down to them. Okay, back in stock from Ryugi is their Item Bag III, because it's royalty or something like that. But these are great for storing quite a few different things. It comes with a clear top, so you don't have to open it up to see what's inside of it. If you have a bunch of these, you can basically just look from above, like, okay, this isn't the one that I have the stuff that I'm looking for in. Then you can go to the next one, or so on and so forth. But it opens up, and you've got these compartments. These compartments you can take out because there's Velcro in it, so you can make your own custom ones, or you can take it out completely, and you can have a full space in there as well. Griff, do you use this thing at all?
I do.
You like it?
I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
How would you compare it to the multi-inner case by Megabass?
It's smaller.
Okay.
And the dividers really help.
Really?
Yeah. Well, for me, I use the dividers. Some people aren't going to use them. But
Yep.
I really like them.
Yeah, I think the divider is just, it's cool because you can take it out as well.
Yeah.
And with the multi-inner case, it just doesn't have that. So this is definitely a little more versatile than the multi-inner case. Both are great. Both have the kind of the same exact concept, but like Griff said, the Ryugi one's a little bit smaller, and you got those dividers with it. I am so sorry. This is actually the first time we've ever had these in here. My bad. But it's the same thing that we said before. It's just new from Ryugi Japan. Okay, moving on to OSP. We see a huge restock in OSP Dolive Beavers, both in the 3.5 inch as well as the 4-inch size. We didn't get all of the colors back in, but we got some of the key colors like green pumpkin, blue flake, green pumpkin, black flake. We got scuppernongs and some of the colors as well. We got scuppernong, amazeri. We got quite a few different colors, but not all of the colors back in with the OSP Dolive Beavers. If you guys are not familiar with the Dolive Beaver, Griff, yeah, you did a 1v1 with the Beaver, right?
It's like a 1v half.
Oh yeah, it was like 1v like 1.5 that he put a beat down on. I'll leave a link to that as well if you guys wanted to check that out. But the Dolive Beaver, it's one of our favorites, right?
It's my favorite.
Absolutely. It's such a unique creature bait. A lot of the guys here at the shop absolutely love nowadays. They throw it on jigs, free rigs. What else do you fish this thing with, dude? Texas rig, drop shot.
I punch with it.
There's so many different ways you can fish these Dolive Beavers. I mean, we've been saying it for easily the past year on just how great these beavers are. And luckily enough, we got a huge restock just in time for the fall and winter months when they're going to start really feeding on crawdads again full speed. Dolive Beavers back in stock from OSP. Okay, we also see a restock in the OSP Dolive Shad in the 4 and 4.5 inch size. This is a great swim bait that you can pretty much fish on a wide variety of different things, from swim jigs to A-rigs. You can fish them on underspins. You can fish them just straight with like a beast hook. They're just a fantastic swim bait. I know Ben loves to fish them. I fished some of Ben's A-rigs with these on there. I love the way that they swim. They have just the right tail kick, just the right head wobble as well, that it's such a great swim bait to fish. Both the 4 and the 4.5 inch size back in stock from OSP. And then we see a restock in the Dolive Stick Fat. Now this is more of the Cinco more style than the normal Dolive stick. I know Ben likes to just weightless rig the Fat, and it basically fishes exactly like a Cinco. It's got a more distinct wobble as it falls, so you can work it exactly like a fluke. You can put it on a free rig, and it's just going to have a more distinct wobble as it falls because it's a little bit thicker, a little bit fatter up in the front part. So those are back in stock in the 4.5 inch of the Dolive Stick Fat. Speaking of Dolive sticks though, we see a new color and new size in the Dolive Stick Spec 2, and they come in at 6 inch size now, and they make some really dope colors. Honestly, I really like this size personally. I'm just a sucker for some of those bigger style baits. So Dolive 6 inch, and they come in some brand new colors. This is probably my favorite out of the 3 colors. This is Natural Sunfish. We also see Green Thunder, and the final color we see is Green Pumpkin Magic. So these are the 3 new colors and the new size of the Dolive 6 Spec 2. And basically I'd probably fish this on like a weightless rig or like a free rig, a bigger free rig. And it's going to be pretty much the same exact action as the normal Dolive stick. So the Spec 2 just means that it's going to sink a bit slower, and it's going to be a little more durable than just the normal Dolive stick. The salt in some of these baits will just kind of corrode it, and it just doesn't have the right build to last a little bit longer. But the Spec 2 is going to be a little more durable, and we got these awesome new colors and the bigger sizes if you guys are into fishing some of those bigger baits as well. Okay, heading over to OSP and their soft goods, we're going to be taking a look at a new product for us, and that is the OSP Rod Sleeves. And they come in 3 different sizes. They come in a small, medium, and a larger size. And that's basically what it is. It's just a rod sleeve. It's basically just a rod sleeve that opens up with Velcro. You wrap your rods around it, close it back up, and boom, you're good to go. It's got the OSP hits on it as well. So if you guys are looking to travel a lot or throw your rods in a car and you kind of want them to stay bunched together and you have a lot of them like Ben loves to have in his truck, using a rod sleeve is just going to save you a lot of headache of rods getting all messed up and tangled. And it's a lot easier to transport a bunch of rods when they're kind of in a sleeve together. So we have, again, small, medium, and large. So if you only carry like 2 rods, you can use the smaller one. If you're carrying anywhere from like 3 to 5, you'd use like the medium. And obviously if you're like a Ben and you like to carry 20 rods, we now have a rod sleeve for you. So check those out from OSP. Speaking of carrying rods, we see a Restock and OSP's mobile rod holders, and a new color in the black, a Restock in that camo color that we had before, and then as well as a blue color that is new. So basically what you can do with this is, if you are wanting to carry more than 1 rod, which a lot of guys are when they're going shore fishing, you can pretty much put this on your body or your backpack or really anywhere that's convenient for you to place another rod. So instead of leaving a rod behind, going down 30 yards and then having to come all the way back to pick up your rod, or sometimes forget about your other rod, you can put that second rod in this rod holder while you're fishing with the other one. And how it pretty much works is you got these 2 straps back here that you can pop on and off, and you can pretty much put this really anywhere that you possibly want to. A lot of guys will put it on their backpack. If you have like a belt or something like that, you can also put it on that. So the overall build of this particular thing is absolutely fantastic. It feels good, feels sturdy, doesn't feel like it's gonna break down anytime soon. Things are padded as well, so your rod's not gonna get scuffed up or your reel's gonna get bad. You have different adjustable things on it, like up here for where around the reel is gonna be. And it's a nifty item made by OSP, and I see a lot of guys in Japan using it as well. So I know a lot of you guys have been using this as well. It's awesome to see this nowadays. Back when I used to shore fish a lot, it was kind of just leave your rod and always have to come back. But nowadays you can bring more than 1 rod and you're gonna be set and good to go. So those are brand new and back in stock from OSP. And speaking of bags, we see the OSP Messenger bags come back in stock, both in the greenish color and the black color. The OSP Messenger bag is definitely one of the most popular messenger style bags that we carry here in stock, and for good reason. It's got so many different compartments inside of it. You have different availabilities to you. You got Velcro places, so you can pretty much have dividers or have very specific compartments to put different things. You got some of the mesh pockets as well, other pockets up here. You got pockets back here with Velcro. Like, this bag is so decked out in pockets, it's honestly ridiculous for it to be this size. You can carry a whole lot of stuff. You got front pockets as well. Like, it's such a amazing bag. I know Ben loves using it. I believe Griff even has one of these. You got pads on the back for extra comfortability when you're fishing out there all day and you're shore fishing. Overall, it's just a fantastic bag that I know a lot of you guys will love and already love. So if you guys are looking to try out the messenger bag, we got them back in stock from OSP. Okay, we have a good restock of Daiwa reels back in. We're gonna highlight quite a few of our favorites right now. Ben's favorite BFS reel returns in the Steez Air TW. This sexy little reel is awesome. If you guys haven't seen some of those BFS videos, I'll also leave a link to up here in one of these corners if you guys wanted to check out those videos. He absolutely loves this reel. The times that I have fished this reel, when like he's out and I've made a few casts for BFS, I don't think there's a better reel out there personally right now. It's just the way that this thing is able to cast such small baits with such light line effortlessly is astounding. We've talked about and laughed about it before, but it seems like every time we've ever tried to like make a cast, it backlashes, it doesn't work. How you make a good cast with that is like this. And that's basically what the reel was designed for, is short, accurate cast that takes little to no effort at all to make. And once we figured out, like, oh, if you just kind of half lazily cast it out, the reel does all the work for you, and it'll surprise you just how far you can cast some of these super tiny little baits, and you're gonna just be absolutely dumbfounded. So if you're looking for the ultimate BFS reel, the Steez Air TW is what you're looking for. Speaking of BFS, we also see the other reel that we've talked about in the past before, and that is the Alphas Air T-Wing. So it's very similar in look to that Steez Air, it's just in an Alphas body instead. But now, for the first time, we see it in a right-hand retrieve. All the times we've seen it before is in the left. So if you're more comfortable, or if you're a left-handed guy normally, but you want to fish BFS with right-handed reels, we see the Alphas T-Wing Air in stock now from Daiwa. And brand new from Daiwa, we see one of the sexiest looking Steez I've ever seen. This is the Steez HLC T-Wing. This reel is so badass. Now, HLC stands for hyper long casting. It's a different type of technology in the spool, where it's made and meant to be casted obviously extremely far without backlashing. And I own an HLC personally and a Zillion. The technology is actually pretty good. I don't know if I see a huge difference in between some of like the newer Steezes to the HLC, but it's honestly just a super badass reel. It's got like this chrome titanium style blue hint to it. The spool in there is like a deep navy blue. The reel is super smooth. The frame is made out of a different material than the normal Steez, so it's even lighter than just your normal Steez A. It feels great, and it's super smooth. So I doubt that these will last very long. I'm honestly thinking about grabbing one myself. It's such a badass reel, and if you guys are huge Steez fans, you guys should definitely check out the Steez HLC. And finally, we see a restock and a couple key models of the Daiwa Steez AGS rods. We see the 6'9" medium heavy as well as the 7-foot medium heavy. The 6'9" medium heavy is basically just an all-around rod. You can fish so many different baits on it. You can fish, you know, a shaky head. You can go up to like a crankbait. You can do just a wide variety of different baits. And basically, they made this rod to be in that shorter length, but you can do pretty much everything with. And I've talked about the Steez AGS rods in some of my previous videos when I fished skinny dipper as well as a spinnerbait. Both me, Ben, and everybody else here at the shop, they absolutely love these new Steez AGS rods. They're very versatile. They come in quite a few different models, and you can pretty much get everything done within this lineup. So if you're looking to just commit to one lineup, the Steez AGS rods are there. And if you're looking for pretty much one rod to do it all, it's the 6'9" medium heavy. The 7-foot medium heavy rod, it's made for like Texas rig, shaky head, you know, finesse jigs, just a little bit lighter bottom contact. And it's got a stinger tip up in the front, so you're gonna get a lot more sensitivity out of this rod overall. So if you're looking for a lighter setup to fish some of those lighter bottom contact baits, this is going to be the rod to choose. And so we got those back in stock from Daiwa, the Steez AGS rods. Alright guys, that's going to be it for what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle. If you guys have any questions about some of the products, leave a comment down below. Either I or Ben will try and answer them as best as possible. I will leave links to all the products down in the description below if you guys wanted to check them out. And of course, thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in every Sunday for what's new this week at the Hookup Tackle. Hopefully this upcoming week we got some more exciting videos to post. So if you can, subscribe, like the video, and comment down below. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.